alive! Ugh. Ugh. I woke up spicy. I've been spicy all day yesterday, but I decided to keep myself a little quiet and a little, just, aware of everything and let things sit for a minute because I wanted to let things kind of exist. Didn't want to let things just kind of be because, I just kind of wanted to just let things sit for a minute. But we do call that Spice and Wolf. I love that. So I'm gonna mute the background music for a minute because we're gonna talk about some important shit. I'm also gonna mute the alerts. So hold off on any alerts or bits or anything like that for a little bit, okay? Just hold off on that for a little bit. You can feel free to spam them as soon as we start Pokemon, but I want to talk about some important stuff first. And I'll explain the goals and everything else later. That's less important than what I'm about to talk about. So I'm going to mute the background music. I'm going to mute the alerts. So hold off on that stuff. Hold off on that stuff for now. Okay, cool. Now it's all muted. Now that you all know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Great. Fantastic. Cool. So, yeah, Mama's getting a little serious today. I've been a little feisty for, when did I come out? 2016? Okay, so I've been spicy for a while. But I feel like people come to me at the very least for some reality to situations, for some actuals, not just,
oh, well, Kdin's gonna tell us everything's gonna be A-okay. Everything's gonna be sunshine and gravy. I don't know why sunshine and gravy is the vernacular, but sunshine and gravy.
I feel like I am the right amount of realistic to the right amount of optimistic to the right amount of, okay, we need to actually have this damn discussion. So, welcome to we actually have to have that damn discussion now because it's been a minute. And I really wanted to actually address some things. So, first and foremost, this is all about everything that happened yesterday. If you did not pay attention to anything that happened yesterday surrounding, Kai and a certain person who makes compilation videos. So, let me give you some background on that before we move forward. So, Kai, in a Minecraft Let's Play, said that when she was a poor college student, she stole food because she was hungry. Okay. And, then everything became, like, humorous and everything like that. It's a comedy Let's Play, folks. So, it's going to turn into jokes because that's the point. So, let's actually break that apart a little bit. Y'all ever been fucking poor? Just putting that out there. I'm going to preface this all by saying, if you see somebody who really needs food, stealing food, no, you fucking did not. No, you did not. You didn't fucking see shit. You didn't see that at all. If somebody is hungry and poor and needs food and they steal it because they need the food, otherwise they'll die, you didn't fucking see shit. You didn't see nothing. Okay? You didn't see nothing. You don't see nothing. You didn't see nothing. Not a damn thing. Period. End of story. Now, I say that as the preface of everything so that you understand the mood that I'm in. Okay, because we're going to go on a journey for a little bit. So stick with me because this is a long one, all right? This is a long one, fam. This is a long one, okay? This is a long one, so stick with me for just a minute. So the call out was, hey, Kai needs to apologize for stealing something when she was a hungry, poor, broke college student. And the response to that was, I refuse to make any more compilations, including Kai, until I get that apology. All right. What the fuck? What? No. Okay. No. So first of all, I want to say a couple things about that situation, and then I'm going to move on to the situation that unfolded after, because it went on in a different direction than I personally would have liked. So let's break that apart. So somebody called out Kai and said, I refuse to make any more compilation videos that include Kai until Kai apologizes. This particular individual had no problems including or making compilation videos about people who have done way worse things than that, and with no rhyme, reason, or any excuse as to why those people did any of those horrible things. But the moment Kai says, oh, I stole a candy bar because I was hungry, that's the straw. That's the line. That's the straw that broke the camel's back, is that. So, when I tell you that it's misogyny, and when I tell you that it's racism, it's misogyny and it's racism. If it's not one, it's the other. And if it's not both, then one sure as shit will lead to the other eventually. And we're going to get to that again in a minute. But I just wanted to say that very clear and concisely. You can excuse it however you want or rationalize it however you want. But if you excuse other people for doing way worse shit, but then call out a black woman for stealing a candy bar in college when she was hungry and couldn't afford it, then that's racism and misogyny. Okay? Cool. Great. Now that we've addressed that little bit of information and calling it out plain and simply for what it is. I don't care what your excuse. Well, it's wrong to steal. Yeah, no shit, it's wrong to steal. It's also wrong for the world governments to actually control everything and make it so that people stay poor because it's better for them to stay poor and have control over all of the situations. They can forgive billions of dollars in debt in a second, but they can't give universal health care in the United States. They can't, forgive student loan debt in the United States. But don't worry, they can forgive their own debt. That's some bullshit. So, plain and simply, if the system is fucking broken, and there's technically checks and balances in place to make things fair, but only the elite and the people who are, privileged get access to that shit, then the rules aren't fucking fair. Not only are they not fair, it's complete horseshit bullshit. Plain and fucking simple. So you can rationalize this shit however you want. You could do and say whatever you want to rationalize it, but understand that system broke, need fixing, and the system is racist. The system is misogynistic. The system is homophobic. The system is transphobic. It's built to keep people down, plain and simply. And people buy into the well, stealing is wrong. It's like, yeah, of course fucking stealing is wrong. But if I'm so hungry I will die. I'm starving, literally starving. And I'm going to get into why I'm so fucking mad about this. If I'm so hungry that I'm starving and I haven't eaten in days, I'm going to fucking steal a candy bar. I'm going to steal some bread. I'm going to do that. You know why? Because if I don't, I can't do anything. All right? So now that I've said that, I want to talk about the next step that happened after that, which is the community response and the stuff that happened on Twitter afterwards. So here's the thing. I do appreciate that everybody came here and immediately defended Kai. Good, great, good. We're all on the same fucking page. Great. I also appreciate the fact that a lot of people came to Twitter and were just like, okay, we're going to we're going to diffuse this situation by saying, hey, I did this too, or make some jokes about it and kind of take the piss, because those are two great options to do. How the hell ever. I'm going to take this a little bit of a step further and say that that doesn't necessarily address the actual issue at hand, which is to say that this shit only happens when a big thing happens. This stuff only happens when a big thing happens. Big thing happens, and suddenly the community, suddenly everybody's just like, we love Kai. Kai is a blah, 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 blah. You know what? I've seen it too many damn times to not call this shit out. Of course you're on this side right now, but where the hell is everybody on the day-to-day? Where the hell is everybody on the actuals? On the actual day-to-day, the Monday through Sunday, the continues. The keep going and going and going. Because I only see this stuff when it's a big thing. But here's the thing. It's every fucking day. It's every day for Kai. It's every day for BK. It's every day for Fiona. It's every day for Mika. Okay? It's every day. You know how I know? I've been there. And this isn't just a localized issue in a singular community, blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Don't high horse. Well, this community is better than. No, I'm going to say this flat out. Every community is fundamentally the same. It is a group of people in a collective that take bits and pieces of information and run with it. Fandoms are like that. Communities are like that. It's the whole shebang. You got to take a step back, rationalize the situation for yourself before jumping into something. Otherwise, you're going to start making mistakes. And this is where I say mistakes were made yesterday. There should have been no bullying. And I mean this. There should have been no harassment and no bullying of the person who made the call out post. This was a teachable moment. This was a teachable moment. This is a moment where somebody did something stupid. And a conversation could be had. And there was no attempt at a conversation. It was dogpiling. Now, I'm not going to say that the person would have came back and met with the conversation, but immediately there wasn't a conversation to be had. And I think that there deserves to be an opportunity for a conversation. Otherwise, what you're going to get is somebody so defensive and so pissed off that they're going to retaliate. And they're going to double down and triple down and make more fucking problems and not learn anything. They're not going to learn anything, period. And that sucks and not good, and it's shitty, okay? Because I do think that everybody deserves a teachable moment and a learning opportunity. Because you've made mistakes, I've made mistakes, everybody's made some damn mistakes, and guess what? Yeah, stealing is wrong. But fucking when you're hungry and you need to, stealing is you didn't see it. Okay? Plain and simple. We good? Cool. Great. Moving the hell along. I think that could have been handled better on the part of, no, you don't need to dogpile. Sometimes you need to have the conversation. And the moment one person goes full in with the pitchforks and torches, then everybody's just like, oh, there's a sale on pitchforks and torches. I guess it's Black Friday. Let's go. And it's a problem. It is a problem. Because it doesn't teach anybody to learn anything. It teaches everybody that doing anything will immediately get them shit on, so they should punch back and punch back hard. You didn't learn nothing. Nobody learned anything. In fact, that's the problem. And while I do appreciate fully with the idea of diffusing a situation with jokes and with humor and with the ideas of just like, well, I did that too, you do miss the point. You do miss the point a bit when you realize that it's not about the stealing. It's about the racism. It's about the misogyny. It's about the homophobia. It's the transphobia of it all. It's about those things. It has nothing to do with that. So yeah, it's great that you're diffusing the situation, but address the problem at hand. The problem at hand is fundamentally a lot of these situations and communities and fandoms and stuff like that and society as a whole are built on the fundamentals of racist, homophobic, transphobic, and misogynistic tendencies and systems. The system's broken and people follow those rules and they see the rules. It's like, well, this is bad and this person should get punished for it, but you can excuse it when somebody else does it because, well, they admitted that it was wrong. It's like, yeah, everybody understands that. No offense, but everybody understands that. Nobody's dumb. Nobody's an idiot. Nobody's a fool. Okay. Plain and simple. It was not an easy choice. And I'll tell you what I'm saying is not an easy choice. So let's turn the clock back a bit and we're going to go all the way back for a minute. We're going to go back to my youth and I'm going to tell you a couple stories. And then I'm going to talk to you about some stuff that happened far more recently than that because we're going all the way back to when I was 17. So when I was 17, I ran away from home. I ran away from an abusive family, 2 abusive families actually, because they decided to hate each other so much and I was in the middle of that and that was fucking great. Not great, sucked. It was awful and terrible. So I ran away at 17. Keep in mind that my parents are fucking stalkers and continue to fucking harass me to this very day. I left when I was 17, I'm 30 fucking 3 and I'm still dealing with this bullshit. So you understand the stress that I'm in and the shit that I deal with on a regular basis. And when I say they were abusive, and trigger warning here a little bit, I don't mean just physically abusive. I mean sexually abusive and emotionally abusive and the whole fucking charade of it all. It's the whole fucking gambit, baby. It's the whole thing. So the whole thing was really just awful. So I ran away at 17. You know what I did? I found somebody on Craigslist who was going to a place where I knew a person, and I got in a stranger's car for a 7-hour fucking drive to go across state lines just as I turned 18. Just as I was turning 18 in a couple weeks to run away from home. and I got into a stranger's car, who the fuck knows what could have happened to that shit? Who the fuck knows? I had no money. I had 2 bags to my fucking name, and it was mostly clothes and what I could fucking scrape together. So I arrive at this place full of people who I suppose I kind of knew, and I spent the next several years sleeping on a rat-infested fucking couch full of dead animals and surviving as I fucking could. My desk was a fucking milk crate, and my laptop was half working. And yet, I still was doing a ton of fucking freelance work, and I got a retail job. It fucking sucked. And I didn't make nearly enough money. So you know what I had to do? I had to steal some fucking food so I could fucking live. But that's not it. These people that I moved into ran away from one abusive fucking group to another fucking abusive group. They had me fucking working like a goddamn dog. A goddamn dog, cooking and cleaning as well. And there was nothing left for me. So I had to steal food for myself so I could fucking eat. It fucking sucked. And I didn't want to fucking steal because it made me feel terrible. But you know what? Otherwise, what the fuck am I gonna do? So, I say all that to give you some fucking perspective. If you see somebody stealing food and they look like they need it, no, you fucking didn't. You did not see shit. Okay? You understand that? Plain and simple. And I will say that I went from privileged rich kid to fucking broke and completely poor with nothing. No insurance, no friends, no family, nobody. Sleeping on a couch in a loft with a new fucking group of abusive people who took advantage of me because I didn't know any fucking better. And I was fucking starving. Okay? So, when I see somebody say, oh, I was a poor college student, I didn't have any money, and I was hungry, and I took some food, good. Good. You needed food. You should have food available to you. Because the infrastructure here in place to help people eat when they're starving doesn't fucking exist, and it's absolute horseshit. Oh, great. So, now that I say all that, give you some perspective as to why I'm so pissed about people dogpiling on Kai for stealing something when she was hungry. Okay? Okay. All right. So, plain and simply, if you saw somebody steal something and they look like they really needed to eat, you didn't see shit. Also, if you're calling out a black woman for stealing, but not a million other people for the same shit, then that's racism and misogyny. Okay? And I guarantee you that the people who would, criticize me for saying any of that shit on social media would come at me and was like, well, can't start that shit, blah, blah, blah. And you know why they'd fucking throw me under the bus for it? Because I'm trans, plain and simply. Because I'm trans, I'm queer, I'm intersex. I have so many, little things there that people are just like, well, I'm going to demonize this person because they are, and here's the fucking kicker. Here's the kicker. Different in any fucking way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form, if you are different according to society standards, well, guess what? The rules don't fucking apply to you. Go directly to fucking jail and go directly to harassment city. Because that's what fucking happens. Plain and fucking simple. Because it doesn't happen to anybody else. It doesn't. It doesn't. Privileged people who have privilege do not get to, suffer that same shit, okay? It does not happen that way. Trust me, I watched it happen yesterday where suddenly, well, this person said it was bad, but this person was... No shit. There's a difference between making a response and making fucking content. Kai was making a little bit of a joke about a story that happened to her and making light of a situation that I'm sure was actually very stressful for her in college when she didn't have money. Diffusing a situation with humor. Toning down the trauma button with a little bit of the ha ha ha. We've all been there. We're all currently there. We're living in the panini. Trust me. We make jests and jokes, but we're all suffering quite a lot right now. All right? Everybody. But everybody's like, let's make some jokes because we need to fucking laugh. Otherwise, the world is fucking bleak. So you take a bad situation, you make it a little bit better with some levity and some humor. Bing, bang, boom. It's a part of coping. Correct. So... I say all that to say this next part because this is why I'm really pissed. If you thought that was me being angry, no, here we go. So here's why I'm really pissed. Again, I mentioned a little bit earlier that Everybody tends to show up when it's a big thing. Big thing happens. Everybody wants to show up. Whether it's support or damnation, people want to show up. And I guess I want to say this. People will be on the side of whatever they think is going to win. It's not a side of like whether you think it's right or wrong. The mob mentality will go to what we think is going to win. At this particular junction, at this particular situation, of course, people were just like, well, we're going to defend Kai because we know for a fact that the people who work with Kai are going to defend Kai because it's the fucking right thing to do. And, you know, they care about Kai. So we want to be on the right side of this. We want to be on the winning side of this is more likely. Because a lot of people will just like, I want you to be on the right side of history. Sometimes the right side of history is the fucking losing side. Trust me, I fucking been there. Okay? All right. So, they want to be on the winning side of history. Because winners get to rewrite history and say whatever the fuck they want about it. Because this is what happened because we won. All right? Cool. Now that I say that. When shit went down with Mika, oh so long ago, I knew what was going to happen, and I was there with Mika, and I was there for Mika. And we talked a lot about all that stuff because it was fucking awful. But Mika and I both knew that the winning side was going to be the harassing side. No matter what anybody said, it was the winning side was going to be the harassing side because of how things unfolded. And it sucked. And it was fucking awful. And I decided to throw my hat into the ring. I decided to throw my hat in the ring and get loud. Because, you know, to make it more appropriate, loud is fucking what we do, okay? If you're not loud, then you can't be heard. And there's a lot of people trying to drown a lot of important voices, and that's history, baby. Trust me, and I'll mention a couple things about that later, about history not being quite what you think it is. But, man, fuck. So it became too much. Mika ended up leaving. I lost an opportunity to keep somebody closer and closer in my life because the community decided, the fandom decided, a group of people decided, we're going to harass this girl so much. We're going to harass this girl so much that she's never going to want to touch this shit ever again. And so she left. And I was heartbroken. And she was heartbroken. Eddie and Mika and I sat around and talked about this shit a lot because, you know, we were all going through a lot of that shit at the same time. Son of a bitch, it was 2016. Y'all do remember what was happening in 2016, right? This is 2016, 2017 era shit. Do you realize the stuff that was happening? It was awful. It was terrible. It got worse. So, Mika left. I was definitely devastated there. And I'm sure Mika got it worse and felt even worse because she was super happy to be here with us. And then because of bullshit, not her fault, she ended up having to leave for her own mental health and sanity and, you know, overall well-being. So, when Fiona came in, and I knew that people would treat Fiona with the same kind of vitriol, I kept being loud. Because Fiona is an amazing person. Not only is Fiona an amazing person, but Fiona doesn't back down from a fight. And I love that about Fiona. But just because one person doesn't back down doesn't mean that they don't deserve the support and help. And people saw Fiona being feisty as a like, oh, well, we don't need to protect her. You don't need to protect her, but you should be standing fucking by her. And I saw a lot of people not doing that. So, of course, gotta be loud. And, yeah, well, you know, shit happens. And, of course, Fiona is still doing content for with us and off doing amazing things in LA. Got a great opportunity. Super proud of her. Love her with my entire heart and being. Fee is amazing. So, when Kai and BK came into the situation, guess what I knew? It would be the same damn thing. And it is. And it continues to be. And not necessarily with the big stuff, but with the everyday stuff. And the everyday stuff may not be as visual as some of the big stuff, like what happened yesterday, but the day-to-day stuff wears you fucking down. The day-to-day wears you down way more. The day-to-day is the everything. The day-to-day is what you see every day when you go in, when you go outside, when you see people, when people see you, when you do this stuff on the world stage, regardless of being big, small, or otherwise. That's the shit you have to deal with. So again, I say all this because it needs to be said, and it needs to be addressed in a way that y'all understand it. Because it's not just in these situations. It is no surprise to me that when the Ruby fans go all feisty and mean and start biting back, who the two people they go to? Who are the people who get it the worst, the most consistent? It's not Miles and Carrie, though they do get a lot. And trust me, I know, because I talk to them all the time. They're friends. They're good people. They do get a lot of shit. But the two people who get it far more, well, guess what? It won't surprise you. Is Eddie, person of color, and Kiersey, queer woman. Does that surprise anybody? Does it surprise anyone? Because it fucking shouldn't. Because it's the same shit that fucking happens every time. Case in point. Once again, I stick my neck out. I say more, because loud. Gotta be loud. Gotta be supportive. Gotta be there. Gotta be there for the people who you know are good. And fight with them, alongside them. Because if you don't stand together, you fall apart alone. Okay? So, when shit hit the fan, guess what I did? I spoke. And I spoke calmly. And I spoke pointedly. And I spoke about things that upset me. And I spoke about the actuals of the situation. And then, get a message. How fucking dare you side with blah, 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 because, it's they did this, this, and this. And I gotta take a step back for a minute. You are telling me that these writers, who were mindful enough to change a background character from being gay because they knew that he was going to die. They knew that this background character was going to die. They changed him from being gay because they didn't want a gay character to die in a tragedy in their content, because it was bad for that to happen. It's negative. It's a negative thing because there's not a lot of representation, and having that be a thing, admittedly, it's like, oh, someone casually mentioning having a boyfriend? Great, that's fantastic. And then killing them? That sounds fucking terrible. That sounds like a stupid fucking idea, and it's awful. So you're telling me the people who are mindful enough to change a background character, you're telling me, that these people who are mindful enough to change a background character would let a named important character be queer and then murder them. You're telling me that. No, fuck that. And because I decided to clap back pretty hard, but still minding my damn manners. Months of harassment for saying, here's the thing. Guess what? You could talk about your headcanon all you want, and please, by God's, have it. Because, again, there's still not enough representation in media, be it, people of color, be it queer representation, be it, people with disabilities being seen in content and stuff like that. Yeah, no, representation is still at an all-time low. Just because you see a couple shows that have some black leads in it, just because you see a couple characters that are queer in a show, doesn't mean the representation is getting better. It's just a couple more. And people are advertising it more because now there's money behind it. Okay? Cool. Great. So, I just want to say that that's what happens. And here's the big deal. When something explodes and gets big, people like to be on the winning side. And people absolutely came and defended me. But here's the thing. you got to think before you speak, because when you start speaking without all the information, then you're going to start making mistakes, and people are going to start saying, well, such and such said such and such and this and that and the other thing, and then it spirals out of control, and then it becomes a worse situation. So observe, understand, and then if you do have something important to respond with, respond. Otherwise, report that shit, block that shit, and move on. And be pertinent about the blocking and reporting shit. Be absolutely on the ball. Not every so often, all the time. All of the time. And again, I say that to say this. I spent so many years moderating comments. Not my job, by the way. Not my job. Not even close to my job. I spent years moderating comments, seeing what people would say in them every day about people like Mika and Fiona and me and other people who I know are just doing a great job and working real hard and actually doing good things. Like, criticize a company however the fuck you want. Go for it. But you don't know half the shit that people deal with on a daily basis with this stuff. If you're a marginalized creator in a very big space that is built on homophobia, racism, misogyny, and transphobia, then guess what? It fucking sucks. The day-to-day is impossible. I've been beaten, battered, and bruised in more ways than I can fucking even speak about. I've gone to conventions. People recognize who I am and then get sexually assaulted. Do you understand that? It's the day-to-day. It's the shit that people don't talk about because it's every time. It's every time, okay? And it's not just in content. Fam, we live in Texas. We're situated in Texas. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, yeah, no, but you're in Austin. Austin's the progressive one. Austin can be as fucking progressive as it wants. It doesn't protect me. It doesn't protect Kai. It doesn't protect Fiona. It doesn't protect Mika. It doesn't protect people like Mika, Fee, Hector, any of those people. It doesn't protect people like Eddie or Kiersey. It doesn't. There's no protection. It's nothing. And if we try to defend ourselves in one way, shape, or form, then guess what? Fuck us, right? Abso-fucking-lutely fuck us. But don't worry. Don't worry. The mob will decide who the winner will be. The mob will decide who the winner will be. And they'll do it in any which way they see fit. And people will diffuse the situation with a joke, and people will come about because it's a loud situation, but where are you in the day-to-day? Because I was sure shit alone for years. As slurs and violence were thrown my way, in the way of people who are also in marginalized groups, every day. But oh no, only when somebody speaks out loud enough. Only when somebody causes enough of a ruckus. Where are you in the day-to-day? That's what I want to ask people who are allies. And I want you to understand some other things. Just because you're queer doesn't mean that it excuses you being homophobic or transphobic, because I sure as shit see a lot of that. I see a lot of people being treated like woman light if they're transmasculine or non-binary. I see a lot of trans women being treated like fucking nothing and disgust and grossness every day. Myself included. And I see people work around it. It's like, well, I just don't think their comedy, I don't think their type of humor is very funny. I just think they're a little bit too loud. Oh, you're talking about did you not know that one of the people who is one of the loudest people, built the entire personality and content off of being the loud person, but you're criticizing one other person for being loud. So when I say it's racist, when I say it's homophobic, when I say it's transphobic, when I say it's misogynistic, I fucking mean it. And I don't mean it in the it's just, it's just how things are. No, it's active. It is active consistently. It is consistently active. Not only is it consistently active, it's fucking frustrating. It's frustrating in the sense that I didn't exist for years. I've been here the whole time. I never left. People thought I was gone. You know why? It wasn't because I went anywhere. It wasn't because I stopped doing things. It's because they decided I wasn't worth seeing. So I became invisible. Which I sure as shit know a lot about. I spent my life being invisible. I spent my life not being seen. And then the moment I actually decide to be me and be out and be seen, people refused to see it. And then I disappeared. Because why not? Why care? Because your worldviews would be being challenged by the fact that, oh, well, this person is trans. Oh, well, I don't want to learn anything like that, so I'm just gonna, hide my eyes a little bit. And if you're not the people who hide your eyes, you're the people who, are the harassers. So when I say that if you're of a marginalized group and you're doing things to actively harass people in other marginalized groups, again, just because you're in a marginalized group doesn't fucking excuse you, okay? So I want to say that and put that there because that's important, an important lesson to learn. Stand together or fall apart alone, okay? Standing together, all together, completely unified, standing with each other, fighting for each other, not just yourself, not just your marginalized group, but for everybody. Otherwise, this whole fucking thing falls apart. Any steps forward we have made in the past couple years because a big fucking thing happened. And that's the only reason we're here. And that's the only reason that a lot of people actually give two shits about me is because a big thing fucking happened. It's the only reason a lot of people are coming to the defense of people is because a big thing fucking happened. But when big things stop happening and things calm down, if you sit down and stop standing with people, you've shown your mettle. Okay? You've shown what your focus actually is. And that's not saying that you can't take breaks, just turn aside for a while, rest, recover, and, recuperate, because you can't be fighting all the damn time. You can't be fighting all the damn time. You get tired. You get exhausted. Trust me, I am. So, again, I ask everybody who made those comments on Reddit and on social media in general, the people who are actually adamant and vehemently in support of Kai, because what happened yesterday was bullshit, be there on the day-to-day. Not just for Kai, but for Fee, and for BK, and for Iffy, and for Charlotte, and for me, and for fucking everybody. Because if you're just there for one person in one instance once because it was a big deal, then you're just there to get your hat in the ring and be just like, see, I defended a person, and this will excuse me doing something shitty down the line. And I'm not going to say that you're not going to do something shitty down the line, even if you are a good person, because people make fucking mistakes, but you got to understand that you got to be there in the day-to-day. I see the comments. I've been in the comments. I've seen what people say about me. I've seen what people say about Kai. I saw what people say about Fiona. I saw what people say about Mika and Eddie and Kiersey and so on and so forth across everything, okay? Across everything. Not just in this company, but in every aspect of this. On Twitch with the hate raids. On Twitter with the targeted harassment. Everything. I've been there. I've suffered through it. I continue to suffer through it. And I'm not going to stop making content. You're not going to see me disappear, and you're not going to see me stop being loud, but I need to encourage everybody to be there in the day-to-day. Not just when it's big. Because if you're not there in the day-to-day, you're not helping build the structure that needs to be built. And you're just letting everything subside until the next big thing. So again, I encourage you, be there in the day-to-day. You gotta be there in the day-to-day. You gotta. You got to be there for yourself too. You have to. Because if you're not going to fight for you, then nobody will. If you don't stick up for yourself, if you don't be there for yourself in the day-to-day, then people are going to walk all over you. I know. I let it happen to me. I was there for other people. I wasn't there for myself. So I let people walk all over me and forget me and trample me and treat me like garbage. And if you've noticed in the last couple years, I kind of stopped doing that. I pick my battles. I choose what I say very carefully. I think about it. I consider it. Sometimes I'll leave things, to respond to for days later because I want to make sure that I am in the right mind space to talk about this stuff, which is why I didn't mention any of this stuff yesterday. I didn't mention any of this stuff yesterday because I was really pissed off. And if I come out there, pissed off and swinging, then I'm going to say something wrong. I'm going to say something improper, and it's going to be bad. And you got to take a minute. You have that time to think about what you need to say, or if you should say something. And I didn't want to say this on social media because I feel that this would be a really long thread and would be seen as mopey or, whataboutism and so on and so forth. No. You need to hear me talking about it because you need to hear the tonality of my voice. You need to understand where I'm coming from and what I've seen, what I've experienced, and all the shit I've put up with and seen other people put up with on the day-to-day. Not the big stuff. Not just the big stuff, but the everything. So what I'm encouraging you all to do is if you are out there and you're enjoying the content of marginalized creators, case in point, how about Boyfriend Dungeon? Let's use Boyfriend Dungeon as a perfect fucking example. A group of people of color and queer people of color came together to make a game. And the villain of that story is a stalker, and they are not painted in any positive light. And people dogpiled on Boyfriend Dungeon. Absolutely fucking dogpiled on Boyfriend Dungeon because, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And okay, they responded. Okay, we'll put a trigger warning up. You're right. We should have done that. We did. Boom, bing, bang, boom, done. Okay? Oh, no, that's not enough. Okay, that's not enough, but The Last of Us Part 2 can brutally beat the shit out of a trans man. Dead name the trans man. And make that part of the pivotal plot of the fucking game. And nobody gave a shit. Nobody said a damn thing. Because it's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. And nobody cared. Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? Nothing. But these people are a great target. We can target Boyfriend Dungeon and we'll harass them. So, when I say that y'all need to be there in the day-to-day, I don't just mean for people inside the company or for me or for yourselves. I mean everywhere you see it. Be mindful about it because there are teachable moments that happen. I feel like yesterday could have gone completely different if people didn't go into the mob mentality, pitchforks, and torches. I can't be sure of that now because that opportunity has gone. It's gone away, okay? That opportunity has passed us by. Will we ever get another opportunity with this person and in that capacity to help make that a teachable moment and maybe change this person's mind about something? I don't know. But I know we lost one opportunity because of a mob mentality that went after somebody instead of coming at this with the idea of let's diffuse the situation and address the actual problem. This is racist and misogynistic to be calling this out and not calling out the other stuff. That is not your cue to call out the other stuff. That is your cue to address the fact that what you've done is inherently racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, whatever the situation may be. And that's the point. That is the point, okay? So, listen. I need to finish off by saying what somebody did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, depending on the situation, you got to look at how the person is now and not who the person was 20 years ago. If the person is actively still an asshole, still doing horrible mistakes, doing horrible shit, then you know what? No forgiveness, no second chance. No. You need to be better first before you earn the right to an opportunity at a second chance. But if you see people doing good, and if you see people making changes in their lives, and you see people actually willing to sit there and listen and learn and do all that stuff, then you need to meet them halfway. And if you don't feel like meeting them halfway, then don't meet them at all. Because if they're trying and you don't want to support them trying to be better because you just can't, then that's fine. Walk away and let somebody else do it. Because that's ultimately not your problem. If they're trying, that's great. But if you don't have the capacity for forgiveness or understanding in that moment, then one, you are valid in that sense. And two, you owe it to yourself to step away. So, I say all that because I'm tired. I'm tired. As somebody who has sat there and been called the worst shit, who's been physically and sexually assaulted by people for just being me, who has been harassed and stalked and threatened and told to kill myself and told that a million other things. As somebody who suffered through that on the day-to-day, y'all don't even know what my messages look like, what my email looks like, what the comment section looks like. I've seen it all. I ended up going in and having to moderate a lot of comments myself because just it's a lot. I'll be honest, at some point I was almost not here. And I mean that in the sense of I was almost completely not here. Like not here at all. Ever again. Okay? Not here at all ever again. Because of the way I was treated. And it sucked. And I'm not gonna let other people feel that way. I can't. Not in any good conscience. I can't. So, when I say you got to be there in the day-to-day, I don't mean you got to be there for everything or for everyone. What I mean is, when you see it, you got to be there. When you have the spoons for it, when you have the ability, when you know what to do, you got to be there. You got to be there in the day-to-day. You got to be there in the day-to-day. Not just for other people, but also for yourself. And I mean that in the sense of, no more talking down about yourself. No more beating yourself up. Because guess what? Yeah, of course. I'll be real with you. Nobody's going to be able to hate you just as much or just as well as you are. And you need to actually start caring about yourself. Which is something that I'm consistently trying to learn. Because if you walk over yourself and disparage yourself and throw yourself in the dumpster, people will do the same. And if you see people throwing somebody you know is good and know works hard and know tries really hard and continues to try and do good, throwing them in the dumpster, it's our job to help each other out and pull that person out. So, I just want you to know that the whole point of this is I want you to be there in the day-to-day. Not when something big explodes. Not when something goes buck wild. Not when something is also like, whoa, this is a huge drama thing. Because I know what people are doing with the drama stuff. It's the same thing that happens when the car gets in an accident on the freeway. Oh, initially there's a little bit of a backup in traffic and blah, 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 because, an accident happened and so on and so forth. But the reason the traffic persists is because people want to see the accident, so they slow down. It's like, oh, what happened? What happened? First of all, unless you can help or are going to stop and help, don't fucking slow down. You're just going to keep going. You're going to keep going anyway. Staring at somebody being traumatized doesn't fucking help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. Either stop and help or move along. Be there when you can and be there in the day-to-day. If you don't have the spoons, the energy, or you're just spent entirely, then you need to focus on yourself for a bit and come back, because that's how you recover and that's how you get back in the fight. That's how you help people. But, doing the drive-by looky-loo of the car accident, being just like, whoa, well, that's terrible, doesn't help anyone. So be there in the day to day. You need to be. You need to be there in the day to day. For yourself and for others. Okay? All right? We good? Everything good? How are we feeling? No, that was a lot. I know that was a lot. And I'm sorry that it was a lot. But if nobody's going to say it, then I have to. All right? If nobody's going to say it, I have to. Okay? Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, be mad. You can be mad. You can be upset about this. You get to be upset about this. Kai gets to be upset about this. Kai more than anything. And here's the thing, if you need help, then reach out. If it's just to one person or to a group of people or anything, you gotta reach out. If you're hurting or suffering or anything like that, but you're good at putting on the mask of being okay, trust me, I know. I'm there constantly. I try not to let people see the shit I deal with. But I'm constantly inundated with this bullshit. Constantly. And it's tiring. And it's exhausting. And it's why I'd given up on Twitch for such a long time, because nobody would support me. It's why I gave up on voice acting, because nobody was there to help. Nobody was there to advocate. Nobody was there to say that just because I transitioned doesn't mean that I'm any less than I was before. In fact, I'm probably more now than I ever was. But that nobody cared. Nobody was there. And I let that stuff happen, and I let everything slide, because what was I going to do? So I wasn't even there for myself. And it sucked. And now you see what happens when you try and you don't put yourself down as much. And you actually go. And you're there for yourself as well in the day-to-day. And I'm lucky to still be here in a lot of ways. And I'm happy that I'm still here. So I'm going to use my time. I'm going to use my platform. I'm going to use my voice for the things that need to be said and need to be done. Am I going to be tired? Yeah, of course I'm going to be tired. Of course I'm going to be tired. Of course I'm going to be tired. I'm always tired. But I'm not going to stop. And I encourage y'all not to stop either. Because you need to be there, again, in the day-to-day, for yourself and for others. Whew. There you go. That's the whole thing.